check out their Google reviews, their Yelp reviews, their whatever reviews.
And they can't fix it because they don't know.
They don't know who it is. And it's, by the way, it's like Rodney47 at AOL.com. Does someone still use an AOL account? He does. Rodney47. And people are really bold when there's no accountability.
Sure.
When you can write a comment and no one knows who you are, oh, don't get me started. But you all of a sudden, you're going, hey, the waitress asked you directly.
Yeah.
She says, is everything all right?
Yeah.
But not the listeners to this show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you're listening to the other station, you're one of the kind of people that would definitely, but this station, we have the best listeners in the world. There's no way that you would do this, but other people would. And what happens is then you're out there talking bad about the business, but the waitress asked you directly, are you okay with the food? And you go, oh, it's awesome. It's so good. Yeah, it is good. When they leave, you're going, are you kidding me? This service is terrible. Now, real talk, though, as a human, I'm pretty real. So I took my son out to this steak business, which was 105th and Memorial. And it's okay to trash them now because they're out of business.
Yeah.
But I took my son in there, and they went out of business. And Vanessa, I don't know if you remember that, but I took Aubrey out to dinner.
Yeah.
And we go there, and we waited for like 10 minutes before we were greeted. Then the guy says, I'm so sorry about the delay. Let me get you set up. We sit down at the table, and we wait for another like 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
Amazing.
So my son is, at the time, Aubrey, like, maybe 7, 6 years old. He's like, this is a bad place, Dad. This is a bad place. So the waiter goes, how's everything going? And my son's like, we've been here a long time.
Good job, Aubrey. Good job.
But the kids don't have a filter yet.
Yeah, good job, though. But he told the truth.
And also he knows, he's hyper aware of businesses just because of the family that our kids are raised in about, what is a good business, how you treat your employees, what is good service. So he's taking it all in.
We get into the car, and Aubrey's like, Dad, I would never go back there. It is bad.
Good for him.
Grandma was like, so you guys had a little mandate. How was it? How was the mandate? How was it? And Aubrey was like, it was terrible. It was at 105th and Memorial. It was a steak place. It was on the right side of the road.
I love it.
And he's just bringing that truth. So all I'm saying is you want to hire a mystery shopper. The second is you want to do merit-based pay. Now someone says, you mean paying people based on what they do and not what they said they're going to do? That sounds terrible. So examples, I'm going to give you a list of companies that do this. Quick Trip.
I love that gas station.
Do you think the folks, we'll call it the other companies, if you've ever been to the bathroom, Vanessa, have you ever been to the bathroom at the other gas stations where you're like, I will risk a bladder infection.
Yeah, we just don't do it. The kids won't do it. I don't do it. We don't do it.
Same. I won't do it.
How about as a lady, when you go to Oklahoma City, do you get fearful that you might have to go to the bathroom?
Well, you mean like for the gas station?
Because they don't have QT.
Yeah, I'm just looking for Quick Trip, and then that's my goal.
See, Oklahoma City, there's women who are not using the restroom at all in Quick Trip. They're getting bladder infections. It's a quality
door
of life.
to door.
But the thing is, do you think the other gas stations are saying our goal is to have dirty restrooms? No, their owner wants to have good restrooms, but they don't. Why? Because they pay their people whether they do a good job or not. But at Quick Trip, they have merit-based pay. They have mystery shoppers, meaning they pay their people based on results. So a mystery shopper comes in. If the survey says good news, hey, you did a good job, they get a bonus. If not, they don't. That's how it works. The third is relentless follow-up. Shrita, you manage people in our office.
Yes.
Why do you have to follow up with some people 7 times?
Well,
7 times about the same thing.
Yeah, 7 times, 70 times. Sometimes you have to do it. It's just making sure that it's done. Sometimes people say, oh, yes, I'll do it. Or they even say, I did it.
How about search engine? You manage search engine projects.
Yes.
Out of 10 people, I would say that 10 statements were made this month. I did it. How many times was it actually done when you verify, when you follow up, when you check?
1, maybe 2.
And then I know sometimes it's done, but it's not correct.
It's not
because
correct.
You'll have to go in there and you're saying, I'm making these corrections, or I need to give it to someone else to correct.
Which doesn't count. That means it wasn't done. So I'm like 1, maybe 2 actually did it.
If you read the book written by Mr. Marriott, okay, he's talking about it's called something Serve, The Power to Serve. I think it's the Marriott book, The Power to Serve, the Marriott Hotels. He says in there, don't hear, go see. So right now, someone needs to hear that, write that down. You need to, don't hear, go see. You need to follow up. Follow up and be truthful. Now, principle number 2, homies, homies from Oklahoma. You see what we did there, Chup? I took that Oklahomies group that you were telling me about. I've woven it into the show. You're making an impact there. It's principle number 2. Understand that your ability to effectively execute your daily operations is critical to your success. Now, you might be super motivated. You might be saying,
what I want to do is make a transformative restaurant that's going to totally change the game because I walked on coals at the Tony Robbins seminar and I'm ready to have a transformative breakthrough. A transformative breakthrough. Everybody, transformative breakthrough. I'm ready to do it. But then at the end of the day, you have to actually execute because
Tony Robbins is gone. You're now back away from the 4-day exclusive resort.
Love it too much.
And now
Love
you're
it.
back in your office and you get paid based on what you do, homie, not based on what you want to do. So we're going to teach you when you come back how to actually execute effectively. Effectively execute? You meaning actually getting stuff done? Yeah, that's what we're talking about on the Thrive Time Show.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on your drive time home. And yes, we are talking about the subjects that you want to know more about. You see, many of you have emailed in, you've asked us questions, you've said, how do I actually get my team to get things done? I own a bakery, I own a photography business, I'm a roofer, I own a fabrication company. I can't get the team. I mean, I can sell well. I can sell things. I have a thing that I make that people want, but I just can't get the team to get the stuff done. And so we're teaching you the 5 principles on this abbreviated Tuesday show. And some of you are saying, how are you qualified to teach us? Well, Dr. Z and I, between Dr. Zoellner, he's out today expanding his vast entrepreneurial empire. But between he and I, we own many businesses. If you go to the Elephant in the Room in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's one of our businesses. It's a men's grooming lounge. If you go to the optometry clinic, that's a business. It's Dr. Zoellner and Associates. If you go to the auto auction, Z's going to sell about 1,000 cars every Friday. If you go to Epic Photography, it's the largest wedding photography business. If you go, the point is we have a lot of things we're involved in. And the thing is, we want to teach you specifically not the theory of how we do it, but specifically how we do it. So principle 1 is it's going to be hard. We talked about that. Principle number 2 is understand that your ability to effectively execute your daily operations is critical to your success. And Miss Sharita Bent, our co-host with the most, go ahead and give us a notable quotable, my friend.
Yeah, this is from Guy Kawasaki, and he says, ideas are easy. Implementation is hard.
Can you sell us on who Guy Kawasaki is real quick?
Sure. He is a marketing specialist. He's an author. He's involved in the Silicon Venture Capitalist Group. He was one of the Apple employees who was responsible for marketing that Mac, that whole computer line. And he wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right?
Well, that would be Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Oh, I was so
Kawasaki,
close. So
Kiyosaki,
close.
very close. But here's the thing.
Sorry, Robert.
No, it's okay. I'll say this, though. I will say this because Guy Kawasaki, the Apple computer was a great computer, but he had to be marketed, and he helped to launch that innovative marketing plan. But what he's talking about here is he's saying ideas are easy. It's easy to have the idea to make this great computer that everyone can use, but to get your team accountable, so much of it is emotional. And so you have got to get your team to be able to get it done. Now, Steve Case, that's the guy who started AOL. Give us one more notable quotable here from Steve Case.
Steve says, in the end, a vision without the ability to execute it is probably a hallucination.
Okay, so Vanessa, you've been married to me for 15 years.
Yep.
My incredible wife of my life coach. She's here. You've seen me go from the dorm room to where we are today. You've seen me. So how hard has it been to hold people accountable? Maybe from your perspective, what is the biggest switch that I have made in the last 5 years where I can now hold people accountable? Maybe the first 5 years in business I couldn't.
I think a huge temptation for business owners, especially small business owners, is to get frustrated with the people not performing as they should and stepping in and doing it themselves.
Oh, I've never done that.
And you can quickly become a slave to it, and then you can't scale or grow your business. And it's the harder thing to do, I think, to find the right people who will do it and to stay on them, to keep turnover happening until you can get the right person, train the right way.
Keep turnover happening? Wait
keep
a second.
it happening.
You said keep it happening? You've seen me keep it happening?
Oh, I've seen you embrace it. And you know what? It changes the business, though. You can't just be grasp onto someone and think they're going to take you from A all the way to Z, you're going to have a whole other team by the time you reach your goal.
Now, this is huge because if you read, let's say, the story of Apple, there's a book called Steve Jobs written by Walter Isaacson. It's a great book. If you read Life and Death by Russell Simmons, it's a great book. And what you're going to discover is that nobody, and I repeat, nobody. Nobody. Yeah.
Nobody.
Can love you like me. What does it go? How does it go? How's the chorus?
All I
Sure, they can
remember
give
is
it to us.
nobody. That's all I remember.
Nobody, baby.
Yes,
And
yes,
the band
yes.
keeps playing
Yes,
on.
yes.
Oh, whoa, whoa, and on, whoa.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, the thing is, nobody is going to be with you from the beginning until the end unless they're married to you or they are loyal.
True.
And check it out. Loyalty, that's all I look for. So let me give you an example. Somebody says, hey, Jesus, you're awesome. Jesus, you're the man. We love you, Jesus. We love you, Jesus. You're the man. No sooner than Jesus, he says, homies, check it out. I'm going to leave you soon. I'm going to be dying. We'll have the Last Supper. Some of you don't believe the story, but work with me. He says, we're going to have this Last Supper. He talks to him. He says, here's what's going to happen. He disappears. All of a sudden, he dies on the cross. No sooner than he's out of the picture, these homies are like, I never knew him. Never knew him at all. I've heard of him.
Who
now.
is he?
Who is he again? Right, the guy you're with all the time, Jesus. Like, how do you say that? Jesus? I mean, Jesus? No, I don't know him.
And isn't that all of us? You know? I mean, so like you said, loyalty is such a huge, huge thing. And to look for that, it's better than skill.
So here's the deal. I'm saying to you, I'm sort of that ride or die guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll stay with you. I'm a loyal human. So I don't buy into a lot of people, but Dr. Zoellner, I buy into Dr. Zoellner. He knew me before I was successful. He's chosen to invest his time in me, his energy. Is he perfect? No. Is he?
Who is?
He's
Here's
human.
the deal.
We're all human.
He is a great guy.
Yep.
And you know what? Some people go, I heard that he's difficult. He actually fired my friend. And I know what kind of people he fires. And I go, well, your friend was probably not a good worker. And I say it every time. I could just hear what they say and just go, hey, your friend's probably not a good worker.
Yeah.
I've
Keeping
said
it
that-
real. Just telling the truth.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if you're a great owner, if you have a big business, what you have to do is you have to hold people accountable if you have a great business. If you don't have a great business, you don't have to hold people accountable. So check it out. If you're a successful entrepreneur, you're probably not going to fire. We have apparently like the law enforcement community circling the studio here. But if you're a great employer, you're not going to fire your top people. You're going to hold on to your top people. But you know what you're going to do with bottom feeders? You're going to fire them because they're freaking carp. When we come back, we're going to teach you principle number 4 and 5. 3, 4, and 5. Coming back.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Hello, Thrive Nation, and welcome back to your inspiration station. This is your mobile dojo of mojo. Some of you, you work at a job where the office is kind of a little bit rough. You're owning a business and you're going, what's going on? I started it, and now like the employees are telling me what to do. Like they own the business. It's like they set their own hours. They tell me what they want to do, and there's more of them than me. Holy, what happened? I wanted to be self-employed. Now I work for a bunch of terrorists. And if that's you, this show is for you because we're talking to you today about the 5 principles for learning how to get your team to get things done. We're moving on to principle number 3. You must wear multiple hats until the revenue saves you. Revenue saves you. Shrita, can you read the notable quotable here?
I can. This is from Paul Graham, and it says, it is hard to do a really good job on anything you don't think about in the shower.
Now, who's Paul Graham? Paul Graham is the co-founder of Y Combinator. What's Y Combinator? I don't even know what that is. He's the guy who started Dropbox. I've heard of that. Is that like a box company? No, it's Dropbox. It's a digital file storage company. There's also Reddit. Maybe you heard of that. Maybe Airbnb. Maybe the thing is, big $1 billion companies. It's really hard to do a really good job on anything that you don't think about in the shower. This is why I, as a founder, am uniquely annoyed by almost everyone. Because I know what needs to be done, and just get out of my way with your committees and your I don't know. Do I get tomorrow off? I just want to get it done. And I get it that you don't have the same passion because you don't own the business. And it wouldn't be sane for you to want to work 7 days a week if you don't own it or have an upside. So it's unreasonable for you to want to work 8 days a week, 7 days a week if you don't own it or have an upside. And if I want you to be more invested, then I've got to give you some kind of upside or some kind of vision where you can buy into an upside that'll be better. But so as a founder right now, if you have people that are like, do I get to leave right at 5 or 4:58? It's because